Right, so hello everyone. So this is my midweek championship for League One and League Two predictions for this week. Obviously, we've got a big midweek programme full of football league action. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. And the first game up in the championship is Aston Villa versus Borough. It's Tuesday night. It's a quarter to a kick-off, I believe. So looking at the two, Aston Villa not had the strongest start this year. And obviously, as I mentioned, and yes, in the previous video, the EFL roundup, that Aston Villa fans they're in much divide whether Seaford should stay or go. They've had a sloppy start this year and obviously spent big on lots of John Terry, that I mentioned before. And Saturday's game against Brentford wouldn't fill me with a lot of confidence if I was a Villa fan going to this game against Middlesbrough, who on the other hand seemed to have come off the international break well. Obviously played really well against Bolton on Saturday with a comfortable 3-0 win. And I personally think, I think they'll win this game. So I'm going to go with Aston Villa 1. Middlesbrough 3. So to go into the second game is Leeds versus Birmingham, which is another good game on paper really. Obviously Leeds unbeaten in the league this year and looking solid both on the road and at home as well, while Birmingham have signed a lot of new players and they're a new squad really who are going to take time over this season to gel and combine and see what they can do. But looking at Leeds, obviously rampant over Burton 5-0 on Saturday. And I think they're starting to pick up form at the early stage of the season, which is a long way to go yet in this division. But it's always nice to start off early. But Birmingham, as I said, they're going to need time to gel. Obviously, 1-0 defeat against Norwich on Saturday. It's not negative, really. But I'm going to go for Leeds, who I think are going to win this comfortably 2-0. So obviously, looking down, we've got the third game is Norwich versus Burton Albion. Obviously, Norwich, comfortable win against Birmingham on Saturday 1-0. So they'll be looking to add back-to-back wins this season. I think for the first time this season, maybe, I'm not too sure. But obviously Burton on their travels not done too well recently. Big 5-0 defeat to Leeds. And I'm going to go again with Norwich to go and win this one 2-0. I don't think Burton are going to play as freely on the road as they did against Leeds. They're probably going to play a bit more deep and defensive. Whereas I think Norwich are full of confidence after a win straight after international break, after the big drubbing by Millwall. So I think the points will be safe for them for this game. So obviously again, game four is Preston versus Cardiff. So Preston obviously have Saturday had a draw of Barnsley 1-1, and to me they've not really invested a lot into a squad this year. Obviously I know that they probably haven't got as much money as say the other teams in this division have, but I think with a good Alex Neil in charge, they've got a manager who's obviously been there and done it before with Norwich. And I think that could be more of a long-term project at Preston now. Obviously Simon Grayson did leave for Sunderland in the middle of the summer, which kind of had to put all their plans on transfer targets on the back burner to bring in Alex Neil, who wants to bring his own idea and his fresh stamp on the team. Whereas you've got Cardiff, who obviously they drew at Fulham 1-1 on Saturday. So they'll be looking to, again, try and get another win and keep that unbeaten record intact. And obviously not look to try and drop another 2 points. So I'm going to go with Cardiff 2, Preston 1 in this game. I think it'll be a close affair, but I think Cardiff just nick it with the extra quality they've got in the final third. So obviously looking at game 5, it's QPR versus Millwall. Obviously this will be another very good game. The London derby as well. Obviously QPR, big win against Ipswich on Saturday. So we're looking again to kick on and get back-to-back wins. For what's been a very positive start for QPR this year, because many tipped them to be in that relegation scrap. At the moment, they've proven they've got a good team spirit and a togetherness with Ian Holloway and the fans. And what looks like on a shoestring budget, he's doing a good job down there. Also, look at Millwall, a narrow defeat at Wolves, which isn't really a bad result for them, considering going to Wolves and how good they are at the moment. So I think this could be a draw, this game. I'm going to go QPR 1, Millwall 1. I think it'll be a tight affair. And I think Millwall are going to come in and try not to lose. And I think, it'll be a quite close game with 1-1. So obviously looking at the next game is Sheffield Wednesday versus Brentford. Obviously Sheffield Wednesday beat Nottingham Forest 3-1 on Saturday, the late kick-off in front of the Sky cameras, and that looks an accomplished performance by them against a very good determined Forest side. And obviously Brentford are coming to this after a good, very well hard fought point. That could have been 3 on the road against Aston Villa. So looking at it, I think Sheffield Wednesday will have a bit too much quality for Brentford, although saying that, Brentford did well to get a point up at Aston Villa considering all the quality Villa have. So I'm going to go with Sheffield Wednesday 3, Brentford 1 this game. So obviously looking onto the next game, it's Sunderland versus Nottingham Forest, which to me looks a very good, entertaining game on paper. Obviously you've got Sunderland who are in a rebuilding phase after coming down from the Premier League, and obviously Simon Grayson has gone in there and he's tried to work on which is a very tight budget. He's brought in some decent enough players like Grabban, James Vaughan, who scored 24 for Bury last season, Johnny Williams and Mark Wilson and Callum McManaman came on deadline day. So I think Nottingham Forest are going on to win this game. I think Sunderland's home form, it's not going to be the strongest this year, and obviously I think they're going to rely on their away form this year to see where they finish. So I'm going to go with Forest 2, Sunderland 1. It'll be another tight game, but I think Sunderland's defensive issues will come into the fray here against a very confident Nottingham Forest team who do look good on the attack and will cause Sunderland back for a lot of problems. So obviously Fulham vs Wolves is another game, but I'll get onto that preview in another video, which you'll see. So obviously, last game this week is Wolves of Bristol City in the Championship for this midweek programme. So obviously it's good. This could be a good game on paper. Again, as I said, obviously Wolves and Bristol City both won on Saturday. Bristol City got a fantastic result down at Reading on Saturday, and that will stand them in good stead. And they'll be full of confidence going to another promotion favourite, and they'll be up for it. Obviously, Wolves comfortable win against Millwall. But I think this could be a tight game. I see Bristol City raising their game again. I think after going down to Reading and getting a solid 3 points, I can see them coming up to Wolves and giving them a hard game. So I'm going to go with a draw on this one. I'm going to go Wolves 1, Bristol City 1. I think it'll be a tight game, but I also think that Bristol City will have enough in their locker to get something to take back from Molineux. As just looking at League One, we're going to run through a few of the more eye-catching games in League One. So obviously the first one that draws the attention is obviously early promotion match between Charlton and Wigan. So obviously Charlton had a fantastic result Saturday against Southend. McGuinness and Holmes were the goals, and them two are going to be crucial this year to Charlton's success if they want to do well this year. Obviously Carl Robinson's doing very well for what is a tough environment in the club. Obviously the owners and fans are in big divide, so he's kind of stuck in the middle here to try and get the fans on side, and I think he's doing that in the moment, and things look positive down there. Obviously Wigan had a solid start to the year, but obviously come up short against Shrewsbury in Saturday's game, which is an unbeaten fixture it was between the two teams. Obviously, they went down 1-0 against Shrewsbury. So looking at this game, it's going to be another tight game. Both sides have got a lot of quality in all areas of the pitch. Obviously, Charlton have got McGuinness, Ricky Holmes, just to name two there, and obviously got Billy Clark as well. Obviously, Wigan, they've got good players in Lee Evans in the midfield, Dan Burn at the back, and obviously they've got Michael Jacobs as well. But I think looking at this, I'm going to go with my gut instinct. I'm going to say Charlton is going to edge this 2-1. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Charlton at the moment, they're an informed side and they don't fear anybody at the moment. So another home win to keep their home form going well. Obviously looking down again, we've got number one we picked out is Northampton vs Portsmouth. Obviously Jimmy Ford Hasselbank, solid result on Saturday. First win of the season for Northampton, first clean sheet as well. With a 1-0 win over... 1-0 win over Doncaster. Yes, Doncaster. There we go. So that definitely what was needed after sacking Justin Edinburgh on deadline day. So coming against a Portsmouth side, he went up to Wimbledon on Saturday and got a positive 2-0 result there. So both sides are coming into it in good form after the weekend games. But I'm going to go with Pompey 2, Northampton 0 on this one. I think with the likes of Brett Pittman, Chaplin, Stuart O'Keefe coming in, and Kenny Jackett at Portsmouth, who seems to know his stripes in this division. I think Portsmouth will have a nut too much for Northampton, who do look fragile at the back, and it's definitely going to be one of their downfalls this year. So Pompey 2, Northampton 0. Obviously looking at Rotherham vs Walsall, another game. Rotherham back-to-back wins, first time this year after beating Portsmouth away and obviously going on to beat Bury 3-2. I think they'll win. I think they'll go on to win this game. I think they'll win 3-1. Although they do score a lot of goals. Obviously Kiefer Moore's got 6 this season, but they do look good going forward. But again, it's like similar to Northampton, defensive frailties will be their Achilles heel this year. I look at Walsall and I think one of them teams will be in that middle of the table, just hovering above the relegation zone, I think. They've got Dan Adji up front, who's a good signing. Obviously, Zeli Ishmael coming from Bury, he's another creative player. But I think, looking at Rotherham, they're going to have enough in hand and they'll be comfortable 3-1. So obviously, another big game on Tuesday night in League One is obviously another promotion game, Oxford vs Bradford. It's another huge game in League One. Also, look at Oxford, solid result against Gillingham on Saturday, 3-0. They've got lots of quality going throughout the team, and Pep Clotet, obviously, assistant with Gary Monk at Leeds last year, nearly close to the playoffs, and I think he's had a solid start down there in League One at the moment. And then look at Bradford, a fantastic result up at Peterborough, taking their unbeaten record and the 3-1 win as well. So I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw in this game. I think both teams are good defensively, and both teams will do enough to cancel out each other. So I'm going to go Oxford 0, Bradford 0. Okay, so obviously quickly going to League Two. We can just quickly pick up on a couple of games. Obviously, the first one we're going to look at is Mansfield vs Wickham. I think Mansfield will have enough quality there, and I think they're going to win a comfortably 2-0. Another good result on Saturday, a 4-1 smashing of Grimsby. And I think they're looking good now. They're starting to peak, obviously. Steve Evans We've signed a lot of players in the summer and they're starting to get it right down there. So Mansfield 2, Wickham 0. Another one we're going to look at is Crewe vs Cambridge United. Obviously, Crewe had a huge win on Saturday at home to Chesterfield 5-1. And obviously, Cambridge United, some sloppy defending cost them against Barnet at 3-1. I think Chris Porter for Crewe's had an outstanding start this year. He looks a really handful up front. And I think Cambridge United's defending will cost them this game. So don't score a lot of goals either. So if you don't score a lot of goals, and your defence could be patchy as well. So I'm going to go with Crewe 2, Cambridge United 0. Looking down, we're going to go with looking at the next game, Barnet versus Exeter. So this is probably the game of the night in League Two for me. Both teams are coming to it in red hot form. Exeter have had a solid start, not had the playoff hangover that many teams do get after being in the playoffs the previous season, and they'll be looking to carry on their good form under Paul Tisdale again. You've got manager of the month for the first time in a decade. And obviously Barnet coming to this on good two big back-to-back wins against Swindon and Cambridge United. So I'm going to look at this game. I'm going to go Exeter 3. Barnet 2, I think there'll be plenty of goals in this game, but I think Exeter will just edge it, I think, looking at the two. And the final one we're going to look at in League 2 is Newport versus Cheltenham. Obviously, Newport with a solid start to the season, and they're looking decent enough to stay in this division, I think, against the Cheltenham side who I tipped to go down this year. I don't think they've got enough quality to stay in the league, and they have struggled this year as well. So I'm going to go over Newport 2, Cheltenham 0. So thanks, guys, for watching. So this is my Football League score prediction. I've obviously not ran through all the leagues and all the teams, but I've picked out some of the best ones, and obviously we'll see what happens. And my match review for Fulham vs Hull will be out Tuesday as well. So thanks for watching, everybody.